Let's Almighty and eternal supreme being, the light of all lights, the creator of the universe, we give thanks and sing your praise alone. For you are our guide and protector. Supreme being, please continue to bestow upon us your mercies and compassion, that we shall be pleased and be pleased all in the city of San Fernando. We shall glorify your name to the world by our living examples. Almighty being, may your light shine upon this city and our country. Keep us away from all forms of darkness, and that we shall always acknowledge your greatness, for without your presence, nothing will be achieved. Amen.
Amen.
To order. I'd like to verify the minutes for corrections and omissions of July 31st. Any corrections or omissions? If not, can I have confirmation, please?
Your Worship, Mr. CEO, members of Council, I move for the confirmation of the 31st statutory meeting of the 10th San Fernando City Council held on Wednesday, the 31st of July, 2019.
Can I have a second, please?
Your Worship, Mr. CEO, members of Council, members of Administration, Springville Paradise, so second.
Matters arising. Page 2. Page 3. Four, 5, 6, 7, 12.3, I know we had mentioned in one of the meetings about the removal of dilapidated buildings. I think we identified 4 buildings for removal. Can I get an update, please?
President, good morning to members of Council, members of Administration, viewing public. Your Worship, we have identified these. We have Council's approval for these. The residents have given their consent because they are unable to take down these structures themselves. We are in the process of getting quotations and so on from different contractors who do these type of works. As soon as this is completed, Your Worship, it will be brought to Council.
Is there a time frame for it?
Normally, we would look at, there are 4 buildings here, we look at within a month time in order to sort this tender process out, Your Worship.
Noted. 12.5, as you're on your legs, Engineer, illegal billboards and banners. We have been getting several complaints about billboards along the bypass, particularly those at nights, which could be distracting and can responsible for accidents like that.
Yes, Your Worship. We have served notices on all these illegal boards. We have taken down a few within the week gone by. There are more to take down. So this is an ongoing exercise which will be completed shortly. So this is in progress.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Page 8. CEO 12.9 on page 8 speaks to the committee that we appointed to rename streets in San Fernando. And in the interest of the citizens, there are 1 or 2 people who may be of the view that the council doesn't have the authority to do that. I'll ask the Corps Secretary you to look at the act and see where we stand with that, please, that particular one.
Good morning all, members of council, members of administration, members of the public. I'd like to just outline 2 sections that guides us in respect to the naming and renaming of streets. Section 138, as it reads, a council shall name or rename streets for which it is the local highway authority, and name or renumber all premises, vacant lots within the municipality. As well as section 139, council shall cause street name signs to be placed and maintained at appropriate locations throughout the municipality.
Thank you, Kosek. And members, I'm raising this question because the people in general public who may not be aware of what the council can and cannot do. The naming of streets in San Fernando, as we know, some of these names are and can be deemed inappropriate. We don't know the history of it, and we have been researching these things. And what we have done really is appoint 3 persons who will be qualified, who are qualified, and who will make recommendations to council. We'll have a consultation with the various communities as we move forward. And the council and the committee members will be Ms. Joyce Caesar as chairperson, Ms. Deborah Jar Batiste, and Mr. David Sami. They have identified the Paradise area, not because of Council Joseph, but because Joyce is based down there. And the history of Paradise and the development of San Fernando over the years. As we have been doing in recent time, most of the streets in San Fernando are named after former mayors and former governors of the country. And we need to balance that, as we have done recently with the Ken Fillmore Street and the Bobby Muhammad Street and even the Rodney Wilkes Street. There are other persons who have contributed to the development of San Fernando and its landscape. It's not necessarily politicians alone or the mayors alone. If you have lived in a community and you probably would have been supplying something that was critical to the survival and development of that community, you should be recognized for your contribution. And this is what this committee will be doing as we move forward. I know that the former council it was raised under, it would have been, Deputy Mayor, is it your area? Yes, it is. Was with the naming of the Rodney Wilkes, and we had to create a balance where we had it is Bertrand Street / Rodney Wilkes Street. When you consider that Rodney Wilkes was our first Olympic medalist, I mean, as opposed to who is or who was Bertrand, as opposed to who is or who was Rodney Wilkes. Our first Olympic medal in 1952 came from Rodney Wilkes, a San Fernandian who worked in the city corporation. And maybe he's deserving of having that street named after him. So these are things that we need to do, and I'm still thinking that we should really adjust that and move Bertrand together all from it and let it be Rodney Wilkes Street. So let's hope that this committee with their findings could help us and guide us on the way forward. I move to page 9. Page 10. Page 12. Announcements.
Your Worship, CEO, members of council, Manipur Navet rise for one announcement. That is for Ms. Nicole Batiste Allen of New City Avenue, Marabella. She died on the 15th of August and was buried on the 19th of August. That's the only one I have, Your Worship.
One? Could you all stand for a minute silence, please? See any announcement?
Good morning, Your Worship. Morning, members of council. Morning, members of admin. Yes, Your Worship. One letter addressed to Mr. Junior Regrello, Mayor of the City of San Fernando, Harris Promenade, San Fernando, Trinidad and Tobago. Dear Mr. Regrello, on behalf of the #Sando Day, #Sando People Committee, we graciously thank you for your support and endorsement of our first Sando People Day. Your call was a welcome addition that made the day an extra special. Moving forward, we would appreciate any suggestions on what you can do to be of an assistance to our San Fernando community, and to bring #Sando People, #Sando Day to our friends and loved ones in San Fernando. Yours respectfully, Gloria Claire Sandy, #Sando People, #Sando Day, New York, USA. That's it, Your Worship.
Thank you, CEO. And for the members to familiarize with yourselves with this, Sando People is a group of San Fernandians based in New York and around the States, and they celebrated, what day was it, some time ago? Sando Day, where I think they rented some park in New York, and San Fernandans from all over the U.S. gathered that day to celebrate Sando Day and reminisce on good old days and life in San Fernando. And they contacted me, and I spoke to them, congratulated them via telephone, which went through the DG. So it was a long discourse. They really had a great day, I suspect, and what I saw on the video. So we must congratulate them and continue to celebrate this great city of San Fernando that we... Okay, so papers and correspondence to be laid. Committee reports acceptance. Finance.
Your Worship, members of council, Chief Executive Officer, members of administration, I, Deputy Mayor Vidya Mangal Bisesa, rise for the acceptance of the Finance, Planning and Allocation of Resources Committee reports of meetings held on the 26th of June 2019, the 2nd of July 2019, and the 9th of July 2019.
Second, please.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. CEO, members of council, members of administration, Springville Paradise, so second.
All in favor? Aye. Any against? Any abstention? The motion is carried. Public health.
Good morning, Your Worship, members of council, Mr. CEO, members of administration, to the public, good morning. I, Alderman Johannes Dean Ryan, do rise for the acceptance of the Public Health Committee report held on the 2nd of July 2019.
Second, please.
Your Worship, Mr. CEO, members of council, Marbella South Visabella rise to second.
All in favor? Any against? Any abstention? The motion is carried. Public physical infrastructure and transport.
Good morning, Your Worship, Mr. CEO, members of council, members of administration, Councillor Ryan Sugar, rise for the acceptance of physical infrastructure and transport committee meetings held on the 2nd and the 9th of July 2019.
Second, please.
Your Worship, Mr. CEO, members of council, I beg to second.
All in favor? Aye. Any against? Any abstention? The motion is carried. Committee reports for adoption. Planning and development.
Your Worship, Mr. CEO, members of administration, members of council, I rise for the adoption of the Planning and Development Committee report of meeting held on 9th July 2019.
All in favor? Aye. Any against? Any abstention? The motion is carried. Parks and institutions.
Your Worship, Mr. CEO, members of council, Marbella South Visabella rise for the adoption of the Parks and Institution Committee report meeting held on the 9th of July 2019.
Second, please.
Your Worship, Mr. CEO, members of council, I beg to second.
All in favor? Any against? Any abstention? The motion is carried. General purposes are on your feet.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. CEO, members of council, ask the adoption of the General Purposes Committee report meeting held on the 9th of July 2019.
Second.
Your Worship, members of council, Chief Executive Officer, members of administration, laissez for East Pero rises to second the same.
All in favor? Any against? Any abstention? Both motions carried. Education and youth development, as you're on your feet.
Your Worship, members of council, Chief Executive Officer, members of administration, laissez for East Pero rises for the adoption of the Education and Youth Development Committee report of the meeting held on the 9th of July 2019.
Can I get a seconder, please?
Your Worship, Mr. CEO, members of council, members of administration, I, Alderman Shane Samuel, do rise to second the motion. Thank you.
All in favor? Any against? Any abstention? The motion is carried. Tourism and heritage.
Your Worship, members of council, Mr. CEO, members of admin, I, Alderman Shane Samuel, do rise for the adoption of the Tourism and Heritage Committee report of meeting held on the 2nd of July 2019.
Can I get a seconder, please?
Your Worship, Mr. CEO, members of administration, members of council, Marbella West do rise to second.
All in favor? Aye. Any against? Any abstention? The motion is carried. Arts and culture.
Your Worship, members of Council, Chief Executive Officer, members of administration, laissez-faire Supero rises for the adoption of the Arts and Culture Committee report of the meeting held on the 2nd of July 2019.
Second, please.
Your Worship, Mr. CEO, members of Council, members of administration, Springville Paradise, so second.
All in favor? Any against? Any abstention? The motion is carried. Public claims and liabilities.
Good morning, Your Worship, members of Council, Mr. CEO, members of administration. I, Alderman Johannes Ryan, do rise for the adoption of the Public Claims and Liabilities Committee report held on the 2nd of July 2019.
Your Worship, Mr. CEO, members of Council, members of administration. I, Alderman Shane Samuel, do rise to second the motion.
All in favor? Any against? Any abstention? The motion is carried. Sports and social services.
Your Worship, CEO, members of Council, Manipur Navet rise for the adoption of the report of the Sports and Social Services Committee of the meeting held on the 2nd of July 2019.
Can I get a second, please?
Your Worship, Mr. CEO, members of admin, members of council, Marbella West, do second.
All in favor? Any against? Any abstention? The motion is carried. Security and disaster management.
Good morning, Mr. Your Worship, Mr. CEO, members of council. I rise for the adoption of security and disaster held on the 2nd of July 2019.
Thank you, Alderman. You're having a bad day today. Second, please.
Good morning, Your Worship, members of Council, Mr. CEO, members of administration. I, Alderman Johannes
All in favor? Any against? Any abstention? The motion is carried. Security and disaster management. Suspect? Sorry. Alderman, you affected me, you know. I take over from where you left off there, you know. You throw everybody off. Assessment, please. Second, please.
Your Worship, Mr. CEO, members of Council, members of administration, Springville Paradise, so second.
Second, please. All in favor? Any against? Any abstention? The motion is carried. Mr. CEO, do you have any petitions?
Your Worship, members of Council, members of admin, no petition today, Your Worship.
Any motions?
No motion today, Your Worship.
Personal explanations?
No personal explanation from admin today, Your Worship.
Questions?
No questions today, Your Worship.
Any urgent matters?
On the admin, no urgent matters today, Your Worship.
So we have two matters that concern the public. I will leave that for last. Members, I'll just go through what we have to do here this morning. Members, over the duration of this administration, embarked on several major campaigns designed to alleviate the levels of traffic congestion in our city. Our most recent change was to relocate the Port of Spain Shogunas and Crib taxi stand. Is another step to easing the traffic flow on Upper High Street, and we intend to make further changes. We recently installed a railing on the island between the library and Royal Castle, which will assist the elderly and curtail jaywalking. We are making a special appeal to the public to use the zebra crossing, which is there for your safety. This area has been previously used as an after-school liming spot by students. We have asked the police to assist to prevent loitering and unacceptable behavior by some of these students. So far, we have seen the positive impact of these changes to this end. We have once again embarked on relatively minor changes to factor which considerably impact the flow of traffic along one of our city major arteries. The relocation of the Port of Spain and Shogunas taxi stand on a trial basis to King's Wharf seeks to mitigate this aspect of traffic congestion on High Street. With reference to King's Wharf, historically it has been the central hub for transportation in years gone by. We anticipate that with the upcoming waterfront project, this relocation will seek not only to alleviate congestion on our roadways, but also gain critical information towards the effectiveness of re-establishing a central transport hub. As such, I am making a special appeal to all our citizens who would be inconvenienced by this trial to kindly give us the necessary feedback and support during this period. Additionally, as the school term will open in the next week, parents and designated drivers who will be picking up and dropping off school children are kindly asked to please refrain from parking indiscriminately and adhere to the traffic rules and guidelines. With this in mind, I wish to advise all drivers to be cognizant of the fact that with the new school term, there will be an increase in traffic where we have a concentration of schools. We all know that the end of August brings with it the celebration of our independence. Therefore, in the spirit of celebration, I'd like to thank Ansa Makal for once more ensuring that San Fernando is not left out by sponsoring the fireworks on San Fernando Hill from 8 to 8:30 p.m. on the 31st of August. Alternative vantage points in the interest of your safety. The public is hereby advised that there will be no access to the top of San Fernando Hill. And those of you should remember that the first time this was done, San Fernanders arrived at the bottom of San Fernando Hill by the droves, thinking that they will go up the hill to view the operation of the fireworks. We are saying to you, look for a vantage point around San Fernando where you can view it without endangering your lives. I think Circular Road and Harris Promenade and other places where you can see the fireworks. As Councillor Joe was saying a while ago, if you go to the bottom of the hill, you'll be viewing the fireworks like this. So refrain from doing that. As we look at our national watchwords, discipline, production, and tolerance, they continue to be and are more relevant today than they were when they were extended in 1962. Therefore, it is imperative that we all aspire to the ideals of those words if we are to fully maximize the benefits of the many infrastructural development projects scheduled to start in the coming months. Both the upgrade to Skinner Park and the San Fernando waterfront will bring an unprecedented level of development to our citizens and our unemployed young persons. Combined with these traffic arrangements and these major projects, we as citizens must prepare to meet the opportunities and challenges that lies ahead. Our citizens have time and time again demonstrated the capacity of San Fernando to meet and surpass these expectations. And I am certain, with your continued support, we'll most certainly witness the next evolution of our city. In light of this and the spirit of our independence, it is imperative that we do not forego the prime tenets of our national motto, together we aspire, together we achieve. Only when we accept that our responsibility as citizens of our great republic will we move forward together as one people in this grand experiment called the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. May we all reflect upon it and discern the potential that lies in this responsibility of this status as upstanding citizens. Happy Independence Day. May God continue to bless our nation. At this point, we have to acknowledge some very important people in our audience here this morning. I want to warmly welcome you to this chamber. Some of you may be coming here for the first time, so let me just welcome you and explain to you this is where we manage the city of San Fernando and what happens with you. We're very happy to have you here with us, and if you look back on the wall behind you, there are pictures of all the mayors who would have contributed to this city of San Fernando from as far as 1846. You may not know that San Fernando was declared a town in 1792, many years ago. And as I show when you assembled downstairs, you have seen pictures of this old city hall. This hall was built in 1931. The city hall was first situated on the wharf, and then a group of gentlemen decided that the wharf was too close to the sea and the fishing village, and they came here and a little hut was built, and over the years it evolved to this very pristine, very beautiful structure that we have. Who knows, there's some young people out sitting outside there. One of you may sit here one of these good days, so you can aspire and you can dream to be mayor and sit here and make plans for the city. It's an interesting place to be. Or your picture may very well be on the wall outside there. And as I said earlier on in the conversation, some of the streets outside there are named after those people outside there. Hobson Street, Johnson Street, Marriott Street, all these streets are named after Joga Grand Street, Renzi Curtin. All these streets are named after mayors, and their pictures are on the wall there. So welcome to City Hall. Welcome here this morning. I'll be very happy to have you all here with us. And this is your space and your place. So I will congratulate the deputy mayor who was responsible for this exercise, and I will ask her to take charge as we move forward. No? No?
Yes, please. So, ladies and gentlemen, August 12th, Monday, August 12th, was International Youth Day. And it is based on this that we decided to present in a very simple way some certificates of achievement and recognition to some young people from our city. And I will start with 18-year-old Herschel Khan. Pursuing his studies in biology, geography, and environmental science. But beyond that, Herschel excelled in the CSEC examinations with 9 subjects. Across Junior Achievement Program alumni, and he offered himself as an coordinator advisor for the Junior Achievement after having successfully gone through the program. And so, Your Worship, I ask you to give to Herschel the certificate of achievement appreciation. And an intern at the San Fernando City Corporation. Kenson Charles. Kenson Charles is a fourth student at St. Benedict's College. He read and read, Your Worship. He has topped his class in end-of-term examinations and placed first in his class. He's involved in the cadet force at his school, and he has been appointed the youngest ever trainer for the cadet program and has attained the highest score in the cadet examinations. He dreams of one day entering the military, and his dream is to become part of the Corps of Engineers for the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. He attends the Bayshore Open Bible Church, where he's the president of the youth ministries of the church, and is an example to his peers both within the church and in the community. Kenson Charles, Your Worship. We now call on Mr. Christian Kelawan. Christian is a student of Naparima College, or was a student of Naparima College. He attended the Bayshore Marabella School and the Open Bible High School, where he did his CSEC examinations. Christian comes from very, very humble beginnings, with a lot of challenge with his mom over the years. He's from what is now known as Pakistan, the Jambi Bay area on the line. And he just completed his CAPE examinations at Naparima College, where he passed, has a full certificate, is taking a gap year before he enters university to study law, Your Worship. Yes, the certificate. You can stay there. Yeah. While at Open Bible School, Your Worship, Christian, hold on just a moment. He was, I need to say this, Your Worship, because for all these kids, a lot of them, the two that have gone before in Christian, people have a certain mindset about where they come from. And this needs to be said. He was involved in sports. When he was at Naparima, He was in the chess club, the social interaction club, the Rotaract club, the environmental club, the social work club. He has excelled academically. He was president of the photography club at Naparima Boys College, and he was selected by the United States Embassy to represent Trinidad and Tobago for a social work project with the U.S. Embassy. He is currently running his own NGO known as Education is Life Itself, Your Worship, for the past 2 years, where the young children of the Bayshore community gather every Friday to be assisted with their homework assignments and to be taught character building skills. Needed to be said. Congratulations again, Christian. We now go to the area of culture. We just did academics, and I'd like to introduce Ms. Hamida Caesar. Hamida began dancing at 8 years old at the Nation Folkness Narodnos Dance Theatre Company. She's Narodnos, I apologize. She is well known for her ability to improvise and put on an excellent performance with no prior rehearsal, Your Worship. The highlights of her amazing career so far have been participation in the Prime Minister's Best Village competition with her dance group, placed first in the inaugural Aspiring Youths for Christ biannual dance with an improvised dance at the spur of the moment entitled My Thanks to Thee. She has successfully participated in La Reine Rêvée, La Reine de Bel Air, Miss Point Fortin Carnival Queen Show, Miss Central Carnival Queen, Miss PNM Youth League, and Miss Faizabad Carnival Queen, with first place in various categories and in the top 2 overall in each of those competitions. And she has been known on the spur of the moment to put on a winning performance in dance. All she asks is, which song would you like me to dance to? Her choreography skills are well known. Miss Aliyah Moses. Aliyah, can I invite you up? Your Worship, she has the cutest set of dimples I have ever seen. Aliyah is only 16 years old. Aliyah attends the Marabella North Secondary. She's in Form 4. She is very involved in her school's folk group where she takes part. She's an all-rounder, Your Worship. Dance, singing, the playing of the drums, which is just a few of the things, but the playing of the drums, she's exceptional, and she's one of the few young ladies involved in that. Do you play pan, Aliyah? She used to. So the playing of the pan as well. I think there's a band somewhere on Coffee Street that might be willing to have her as part of it. She's involved in music festival when her school enters, and because of her passion for singing, she has had the privilege of being invited to sing at numerous weddings in and outside of her community. And we want to honor her here today, Your Worship. And then we go to Joshua Hines, looking very dapper and very nationalistic today, Your Worship. Very patriotic. You give your competition, Your Worship. Joshua was recently a Form 5 science student at St. Benedict's College. He recently wrote the CSEC examinations and attained 9 subjects, gaining 6 1s and 3 2s. Although we're honoring him for culture today. He plays, and let me list them, the steel pan, the piano, and the African drums. He reads and writes music. He has won the title of Music Festival Champion in Boys 13 to 15 vocal solo, won or was a finalist in numerous calypso competitions in various parts of Trinidad, and his repertoire extends to contemporary, R&B, and gospel, and other genres as well. His versatility extends to acting, as he has acted in The Taming of the Shrew, in one of the lead roles of Hortensio and Aida the Musical, as one of the lead roles of Mereb, the Tempest, and as one of the lead roles of Sebastian. Recently, he played the star in a play called Under Red Water, in which he was credited for an excellent performance, and he presently holds the title of Mr. Sandfest 2018, winning in 4 out of 5 categories. And now we go to the category of sport, Your Worship. Antonio Gomez. Antonio, where are you? Antonio is here. Antonio Gomez, Your Worship, is 17 years old now. He is a student of St. Benedict's College. He's in Form 5. Antonio was one of the youngest people, Your Worship, who was accepted or who was sought by the Queen's Park Cricket Club. How old were you when that happened, Antonio? 14, I believe. He was 14 years old. And Queen's Park Cricket Club saw the kind of talent he had and extended to him and his family, Your Worship, as a member. So his parents would have to juggle and his father would have to drive him to there for practice every week. I think it was 3 days a week or 4 days a week. He was also one of the youngest to be accepted into the under-16 national cricket team and was honored as being the captain of that team. He is a wicketkeeper batsman, and he is now another Puran. He is now, you're the captain of the under-17 team, or the no? He's representing, he's now part of the under-19 team. And having come off being captain of the under-16, I'm sure it won't be long before he is made captain of the under-19 team. Antonio? So, Antonio, don't forget us when you're playing for Trinidad and Tobago. Eh? Complimentary would be greatly appreciated. Viola Jack. This lovely young lady, Your Worship, who looks so delicate, started her career as a rugby player at the age of 13. She is currently playing with the Trinidad and Tobago female rugby team, where they recently competed in the Pan American Games in Peru. In the team, she is the only Caribbean female, their team was the only Caribbean female rugby team to qualify in 2019. Ms. Jack is no stranger to success, as she was also awarded for the most tries for rugby in Trinidad. She was also awarded the First Citizens Youth Award Junior category in 2017 and 2018. You see how versatile our young people are, Your Worship? Rugby. And she looks so delicate. Tyrese Boxill. Tyrese, would you make your way up? Tyrese has been swimming since the age of 3 and continues to do so. His ambition in swimming has made him come far to make 3 national teams already. 3 national teams, and he's only 12 years old. He has gained an abundant number of medals and trophies in this sport. He's participated in the National Goodwill Games, which was held in Suriname this year. He has a long journey of traveling to Port of Spain every day for training and continues to excel. The young swimmer continues his hard work in the sport, and his ambition is to make his country proud. He only recently passed the SEA examinations this year, Your Worship, and is going to be a proud Form 1 secondary school student shortly. Tyrese? Your Worship, we have one more award. This award is for a 21-year-old young lady by the name of Nuria Baksh. Nuria, may I ask you to come to the front, please? And this is a surprise for her, Your Worship. She didn't know she was being awarded. March 10th, 2017, University of the West Indies student Matthew Levi Caesar took his own life. He did it for the very simple reason of having no one that he felt he could talk to. The only persons or beings that he chose to try and express to were his own inner demons. Unfortunately, his words fell on deaf ears. Nuri was a close friend of Matthew and herself suffers from extreme and excessive anxiety attacks, to the point of when Nuri has an anxiety attack, she loses consciousness and has to be placed on oxygen in order to survive. With the passing of Matthew and her sense of loss and hurt and pain that he did not feel comfortable enough to speak with her, even though she had tried to speak with him, Nuri decided to start an NGO with the help of a few friends called the Deaf Ears Movement. The ambition of this NGO and this young woman is to provide an opportunity for our young people to find hope and support when dealing with mental health issues. Pretty much on her own shoulders, she has carried at least 4 events so far, trying to bring awareness to the issue of mental health in young people, on her own and with her own challenges, with a small circle of friends and support. We want to take this opportunity, Your Worship, to present to Nuria Baksh for her selfless service in the care and the help and the concern for other young people, this small token of our appreciation. Thank you, Your Worship.
We're not finished yet. I would like to invite a young lady and her son to join us, please. So we have with us this morning, right? You want to read it? Right? Right. It was only heroes this morning. We have with us Josiah Parag, is it? Right? And he would like to thank the council at this meeting for funding him to attend a national Caribbean and Central American Championship Festival in, competition in Barbados, where he was awarded 3 bronze and 1 silver medal in the category 18 years and over. Let us give him a strong, a very round of applause, right? So I would like his mother to, you tell us.
Josiah as well contributed the most points towards Team TTO at that meet.
And what happened this morning, his mother sent me this letter. She said that she wanted to come and personally thank the council for making the financial contribution to get him to Barbados, because we get requests here, and people may not know. For instance, when your vehicle is wrecked, $100 from your wrecking fee comes to the council, and people apply to us for funding ever so often. That's what we do. We assist. Right? We assist people. So indirectly, you've contributed to Josiah. So you can continue to park indiscriminately. Your money is not wasted, but we want to congratulate him because it's not the first time we have assisted him, and it's an investment in young people. So congratulations, well done. You made us proud. And before you go, his grandfather was a mayor of this city, Mr. William Steele. Congratulations. Thank you. Well done. Thank you so much. I think we have Councillor Wilson. You have a well, young people, persons, please don't leave Mr. Parag. We want to do a group shot with all our successful young people. But all the stories were positive. And one thing we show is that the future of San Fernando is safe and sound and secure. Whether it's sport, whether it's the arts, whether it's the academia, we're ready for them, ready to go. You all are the future of this city, and we're extremely proud of you. Congratulations, young people. Well done. And congratulations to your parents who have worked very, very hard behind the scene to get you where you are today. Well done. So we'll now bring the meeting to a close, and I'll ask the recipients to gather in the center of the horseshoe to take pictures with your